Why, hello there. How's it going? Hopefully, everyone's having a good day here on the old interwebs. That's right. I'm back with another video. Now, I just want to point out YouTube, I am not giving medical advice, nor am I a medical doctor. This is strictly opinion based. And for anyone that really wants to have a strong opinion, please consult a doctor. A doctor, please consult your doctor. Do not take advice from me, a celebrity, or a politician. Consult your doctor. This is just a disclaimer. I'm about to talk about something a little bit probably juicy, but I just want to reiterate I am not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. You should consult your doctor. Now that that's out of the way, I did this poll last Monday. There's about 15 hours left. 12 people have voted for it. Do you support vax mandates? Yes, shots for everyone, 0%. No, my body, my choice. Now, this is only about mandates, and this is a non scientific approach to it. I am not getting into the nitty gritties. It should be up to between you and your doctor. I'm going to be repeating that multiple times throughout this video in case someone wants to flag it. I am not telling you one way or the other. Consult your doctor. Anyways, oh, I hate it when it does that. But anyways, Governor Abbott is pretty much says Biden has become the habitual violator of the U.S. Constitution. He lacks the authority to issue vaccine mandates, like he lacks the authority to extend the eviction moratorium. I'm confident Texas will win this constitutional showdown. No, I think the president, or at least Congress, does have a leg to stand on when they do mandates. I think there's several cases involved. I do think the last case that everyone wants to mention is kind of a underlining what I took out of it. Like I said, I'm not a legal scholar, I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. But there's a phrase in there saying that this is going to the smallpox vaccination, where the vaccine was the only thing that we had at the time to fight smallpox. And I'm kind of curious if there's therapeutics for smallpox, if the Supreme Court will ruled in the same way. Now, I know that we're not really supposed to talk about therapeutics when it comes to COVID 19, but there are therapeutics out there. I'm not going to name them, but I think everyone has a point. And of course, Dan says, point of fact, Biden did not issue the vaccine mandate, which is technically a true statement. He did not do a vaccine mandate, but he did a vaccine mandate in all intents and purposes because he's using double speak. He's using a lever to where he doesn't actually have to do the mandates, but he gets the mandates involved. But of course, I'm sure he did issue the vaccine mandates on all companies over 100 employees. Either they get people vax or they fire them unless they want to pay for the fine. And yes, I do know weekly testing is a thing, but if I'm a company and I have to pay for the testing, I may do that for a month. And then I might say, look, dude, you either got two options. You either get the vax or you have to, or you're not going to be employed. I think most companies are going to go that route. But of course, being Twitter as it is, Biden has directed OSHA to include a workplace safety guideline that compels companies with over 100 employees to require all associates to maintain vaccination, submit to weekly testing, or terminate employee. Category: not a vaccine mandate. Yes, by the truest letter of the law, it is not a mandate, but it's a mandate. The executive authorized a set of workplace safety guidelines under the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970. There's an enormous amount of precedence in tort law to uphold the constitutionality of the federal government's authority on the matter. Abbott is lying. I mean, is he really lying, or is it doublespeak? Even though some people may consider doublespeak lying, but essentially Biden has put in a mandate in a non-legal way, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that what he's doing is illegal, but I'm just saying for the legally, he did not create mandates, but the end result is going to be a mandate. Either get the vaccination or get fired. And since there really is not an option to go find another place unless they do get to get to it. Let's see here. There's another one. So get tested, take the shot either way, wear a mask, yes. I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those topics where I do know that there's therapeutics out there that have actually helped. So I don't think mandating a vaccine is the proper way to go. Now, I would say if there was no other option available, then I'm maybe more inclined to approve mandates. But this is more of a ethical question or something that probably really needs to go up into the courts because I don't have an answer because I am not really an expert in either legal or medical. I may know a few things here and there, but that does not make one an expert. And then there's also the other issue where you have two people that are experts and saying completely two different things. Should we not listen to the counter arguments, or do we only listen to what the CDC and the WHO says? And what if the WHO says one thing and the CDC says another thing? Yes, the World Health Organization is the WHO. So this is where some of the hesitancies is coming from. Is we're kind of doing our own research here. We're not entirely trusting the government has the best interests of its people, regardless of which party you're from. So we're kind of doing researches here, and yes, we're probably getting a lot of it wrong. Actually, we're probably getting a whole lot of it wrong. So that's why I'm not actually going one direction or the other direction into this, other than for the fact that I do know for the fact that we're relying so much on one source, on one narrative, that we may be missing opportunities for something probably a little bit better to where it doesn't have effects. And like I said, a lot of the effects I'm hearing are anecdotal. I don't know what the full effects are on these vaccines. And someone who doesn't have the vaccine, I'm actually worried about the long term effects, but the long term effects studies isn't out yet, especially on certain vaccines. Now, this isn't like the vaccines I got when I was a kid that actually has a proven track record of working. This is something completely different. This isn't the normal vaccine where they take a vaccine and they neuter it, or it's a dead vaccine and they inject it into you, which will create antibodies to build up your immune system. This is something completely different, and I'm not exactly an expert when it goes to that. Oh yeah, here's another tweet. I want to point out, did you forget about the testing alternatives, or are you just being disingenuous? Yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of harping on. There's also get a different job option. Either way, there's no mandate saying people have to get the vaccine. It's completely fabricated by partisan hacks like Greg Abbott. I disagree. I mean, it's essentially a mandate. It's a mandate that's not a mandate, if that makes sense. And I get where people are getting confused. If OSHA is making sure that if OSHA is going to set a set of guidelines, making sure that companies over 100 employees get the vaccine or do tests weekly, that is a mandate. That is a mandate. In other words, I don't get why people are having issues with that. Yes, he did not say it was a mandate straight out. He's being very sneaky in the way that he's setting this. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting, and I see right through it. A lot of people see right through it, but there's people that are not Democrat or people that are Democrats that just follow. They have to follow the herd mentality of if my guy says it must be good. Now keep in mind, I am not part of one party or the other party. I'm an American just like every other American. that just has questions and they're not getting answered. I want to know the long term effects of this. And it looks like we're putting all of our eggs in one or two baskets and ignoring other baskets that may be more beneficial in the long term. We're relying too much on the short term, and we can't even talk about it on the interwebs because we'll be either labeled misinformation because we're trying to get answers. We're trying to create a debate. We're trying to maybe explore different options and let people know different options, but then we get labeled anti-vax and conspiracy theorists because we don't want to take this certain vaccine because we don't trust it. There's reasons why we don't trust it. Pharmaceutical companies don't really have the best track record, even though they sometimes do have the best track record in certain aspects. I mean, do I have to bring up the opiate crisis where a lot of the people got hooked because they were overprescribed by the doctors because the doctors were told that they weren't habit forming? I mean, there's a lot of mistrust here. And if we're not allowed to debate certain facts or certain alternatives to have a better understanding of what's out there to make the best choice available to us, that we could go to our doctors and ask these questions, but we're getting labeled anti vaxxers or conspiracy theories, just totally dismissing our concerns is not the answer. That's not how you get people to get the vax. You don't get it by forcing companies over 100 employees that they must do that, must get tested every day. You're shaming people into getting the vax, which is also not a good idea. Now, like I said, I am not a medical doctor. This isn't medical advice. I'm not trying to do medical misinformation. I just have questions that no one's really been able to answer. And when I point out different countries, I get labeled, you cannot use those countries because they're not in the United States. But they're dealing with the same bug. They're dealing with the same data that we're dealing with, and they're giving us completely different results compared to what the CDC has given us. I mean, the numbers of Israel. How can we not use Israel? Why is that misinformation when we use Israel's numbers to form our opinion? Or why is it we can't use Japan when they're using certain therapeutics and America is saying we can't use them, calling them horse dewormer and fish cleaner? Why are we not allowed to discuss that as possible avenues of therapeutics? Why are we relying so much on big pharma to fix our problem? I mean, I'm not trying to do misinformation, and I'm not a medical doctor, nor am I a legal expert in this. And really, I mean, if don't come to me or don't come to the law saying I told you not to get the vaccines. I did not say that. I said consult your doctor. Consult a medical field whether or not you should get the vaccine and which vaccine you should get. I just have questions that are not being answered, and it's frustrating because YouTube has taken down one of my videos saying it was misinformation because I didn't want to take one person's advice and telling people not to take one person's advice because in order to come up with your own opinion, you have to have that debate, you have to have that discussion, and nobody's allowed to have that discussion online, and it's very frustrating. But I have to give Twitter props, though. I have to give Twitter props. They have actually allowed small creators the opportunity to have that debate. Whether it's very limited, and I haven't been able to get any real numbers. I don't know. I'm just frustrated in this whole thing, and I'm frustrated that we can't really talk about this. I'm frustrated that only larger channels can actually have this debate without repercussions. But like I said, I'm going to end this by saying I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. Get the shot, don't get the shot, but consult your doctor. Do not take advice from, definitely don't take advice from myself. Do not take advice from politicians. Do not take advice from celebrities. You should take advice from your doctors. Get your doctor's opinion. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm going to say. But I think we should also have that debate. Anyways, that's it. Leave a comment down below, smash the like and subscribe button, and have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.